Dojo. Tonight we're going to be discussing Ordinals Lisbon. Of course, we're going to be talking about runes after it just launched a few days ago, and ninjas have been absolutely cooking, minting, buying, and selling. We're going to take a look at the rune charts, talk about the launch on Magic Eden, and so much more around runes, and some other ninja activations that are coming up. We're going to have some discussions around maybe some paths that we can take as a ninja community, and really just anybody out there. With all that being said, this show is brought to you is on X and on YouTube. If you want to hop in the chat, we'll pull it up. That way you can join in on the conversation. And of course, it's brought to you by Ninja Alert, who has absolutely been cooking with whitelists, rune partnerships, IRL activations, and so much more. Further updates, follow Ninja Alerts, follow our new Pizza Ninjas community page, and of course, follow @TO with notifications on. Today, I'm joined by my homies, my regulars, my co-hosts, Chris D and Coma. And we're actually going to have another special guest jump in here, somebody who we actually hired to come on to help really set up and get everybody prepared for runes. And you'll meet them in probably about 20 or so minutes. They're definitely going to be late. With all that being said, what is up, gentlemen? How's it going tonight?
It's good, dude. I feel like we've come so far since last time. We've had a slumber party. I went, broke bread with my boy Coma and raided his house and forced him to help me make a Bitcoin node. Man, I don't know. How you doing, Coma?
I'm doing good, man. Hey, at the end of the day, I offered and you said, don't joke around and I will come. And I was like, yeah, come through. And he actually did. So we actually missed out on sharing the alpha. We after we did that, we went to go eat pho and didn't take a picture for a guy who's supposed to be a content creator. Come on, man. You got to get those moments.
I even said that we should do that at the table and then just didn't do it.
So much happened since then. We created notes.
I don't think I've ever seen Chris without his phone or a camera, and he didn't take a picture. That's something, man. That says a lot about you, Coma.
Yeah, he's captivating.
I was too real for the camera, apparently.
Too real for the camera. Man, I want to talk a lot about runes. We're gonna spend a lot of this episode talking about runes because that's what's hot. But I do want to say something that's coming up in about a month. So actually, not even a month. You have Ordinals Asia at the beginning of the month. That's not really what we're going to be talking about tonight, but that's just kind of like an honorable mention. But one thing that's happening, and it's important for me to bring it up because ninjas are actually the co-host of the conference. It's Ordinals Lisbon. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the event, but of course it goes on in Lisbon. I think last year they had like 4,000 attendees. And this year we're really going to be ramping up, turning Lisbon orange, because that's what's happened to all the other events at NYC, East Denver, and LA. We're going to be doing that in Lisbon. So even if you're don't plan on going or you can't make it, definitely interesting to kind of see what's going on around the world for these activations. So this is kind of like a preview of kind of what to expect about it that I want to play real quick. Guys, do me a favor and just let me know if you can hear it clearly by like give me a thumbs up or something when I hit play. May 28th. That is, like I said, about a month away. What do you guys think? First look.
That looks like somewhere I want to go.
Yeah. Simple and sweet.
Yeah, man.
What's that?
Have you been to Lisbon?
No, I haven't. Have you?
No, I haven't. So that's exciting.
Heck yeah. So this is just like it actually genuinely looks good. So there's going to be 200 plus speakers. Last year, there was over 4,400 attendees and 200 speakers just for the Ethereum side. So again, we are actually, if you could see Pizza Ninjas like on that trailer, we're actually a co-host of the event. Here's some notes from Trevor. This conference is the highest caliber production in the space. You'll be surrounded by floor to ceiling of immersive screens. More than just a backdrop to the conference, it's a setting that brings digital art to life and facilitates a deeper connection with the content. Dude, this venue though, look at that thing. Like that's wild. I don't know. It looks so freaking cool. This thing was built in 1922. And then of course later rebuilt in Lisbon, but basically like features that like original architect. It actually looks really cool. I mean, like I'm really excited to see. I believe ninjas have like a night. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that, so I'll wait on the ninja benefits there. But yeah, it looks super cool. If you're a ninja, you definitely need to go. If you're involved in the ordinal space whatsoever, if you're around the area, I definitely recommend it. So we do have some people in chat, and we'll go back to talking about some runes because we have so much to talk about with runes. But I'll go and pull up a couple people. We got Moose just saying yo. We got Litre saying I was about to sleep, but I'll stay for a while. Well, welcome. Glad you would stay up just a little bit longer to talk about some runes. Get into the juicy stuff for you soon. And we got it's Coma in here, a fellow YouTuber and somebody that's on stage. Saying the music is bumping.
Doing
Guys,
God's work right now, contributing both ways.
I agree. Yeah, man. Yeah, firing out all cylinders. So I have to ask, like, how we're 3 days into runes. How's it been going? Have you minted anything? Have you bought anything? Have you sold anything? Have you been watching from the sidelines? Just give me some of the details on your experience so far. And by the way, Working Horse GM.
Who wants to start, Chris or you or me?
I say you go, but first we got to shout out Erica Lee. What's up, SoCal Ninja Crew? Gonna go make some ninja content, jump out of bushes and scare people. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
I did skip over Erica. I didn't see that for some reason. I saw It's Coma say yo queen, and I was like, who's he calling queen? And then I was like, oh, okay, Erica, obviously, who by the way wrote an amazing piece on Magic Eden launching runes before it launched, and as for Decrypt Media, shouted that out in one of my recent videos. So great job to Erica, just doing amazing things in the space.
Yeah. Well, so how do we talk about runes here? Yes, I did mint some runes. I had my Bitcoin node and my Ord index, and I started I didn't know what the hell I was doing, to be honest. But I split up my UTXOs and I minted a couple of tokens, or do I call it coins or tokens? I don't know, but I minted some runes. I did not sell, which probably kicking myself in the foot a little bit, but luckily I was able to get a bunch of Satoshi Nakamoto's. So even though it's down, I'm still technically a little bit up right now still, even with that big dip from like, I think it was like $7 to now it's like $3. But I don't know. I'm not giving any financial advice, but in my mind, like I didn't put all this work for like 10% profit. So if I lose, I lose. If I win, I'm gonna win big. So yeah, I chose rich or poor. Who knows?
I love it. I love it. What'd you choose, Chris?
So I chose to lend my freshly created Bitcoin node. I went out to Venice Beach at IRL Alpha. We were all doing like a runes party basically, and it was also my birthday. So it was going to be my birthday the next day. So we got taken out to dinner, and at dinner it came up, hey, how did you make a Bitcoin node in 2.5 hours total? And I was like, oh, well, we just copied the files, and my buddy helped me out, and so I got him on this SSD. And yeah, you should find somebody who has files on an SSD and copy them. Good luck. See you guys. And they were like, wait, like, what can you do? So I actually ended up, I told them I had a buddy who was about to drive past my house the next day, and I was like, I'll just leave you guys my node, and you could copy it. And you could start sharing the files around. I'll just pass it forward like happened with me. And that was because of Trevor. Trevor's like, you guys should just copy each other's files, find somebody local, set up that way. It's the fastest way to do it. And we did that. And I didn't end up getting my node back until like almost the end of actually all the way the next day. I didn't even get it back. I had to wait till the following day. I didn't get it back till 4:20. And by that point, enough of the like excitement and craziness, like I had already missed the initial mints, and so I kind of came into it with a little bit of fresh eyes and was like, how come I could buy stuff cheaper than it would have cost me to mint it? And I was like, I think I'm just gonna wait. I think I'm just gonna watch and ask for a bunch of feedback from different people. And so I'm yet to have thrown any money at anything. Because I slept on the Wall Street Bets thing, and apparently I probably saved myself.
You did. That was a good one to sleep on.
Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't
Is it
been.
really an alpha if everyone already knows to go on it?
Look,
You know,
I
that's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying.
I was really hoping that. So I would say the launch of runes in general, people didn't go nearly as far as I thought they would. Like Trevor was saying, like he got the number 14 ticker etched, and he thought he was just going for like the top 100. So that, and then honestly, the night of the runes launch, you could mint pretty much whatever you wanted that wasn't like locked up or pre-mined or whatever, and with like no issue. Like you could have minted as many Satoshi Nakamoto as you wanted to, as many literally whatever you could find, pretty much you would be able to mint. So that was interesting. And it really just depends on what you minted. Like I think a lot of these things have a ton of potential to go up in value. A lot of them, if you did mint them, you are up. Like even though Satoshi took a huge hit, and I'll talk about it later. Obviously, none of this is financial advice whatsoever. It's looking juicy, man. Still, we paid at the, I say we, I mean, some people will like, boosted those transactions to where they're paying literally like $500 per transaction. But I think the highest I even saw it was like 300. I think on the higher end, like my average was probably like 200. And it's still like for what I think the lowest mint Satoshi was like 100 Satoshis or like tokens. And that's still worth way over that. I mean, it's still like a 3x or 2x or something like that. I did sell some Satoshi at $750 because I'm a trader. Like trader as in like I trade stuff, not trader as in like I'm gonna hold it. Just kidding, I'm gonna sell it. I'm very like take initials out kind of guy. So I already got like that one sell off pretty much covered all my transaction costs for Satoshi. But I got cooked as well in some mints. Wall Street Bets was like meved like pretty hard. People gassed that thing the heck up. I really thought that I increased my sats per VByte to like 3x the high priority, and I still didn't get in the block. And I lost like $500 just on that.
What was the bite on that one?
So it was like 250 was high priority. I say 3x. I did like 600 per VByte, and I still didn't get it.
Low for sure.
Yeah, I still didn't get it.
Dang.
And so that was a bummer. And that was when the transaction fees were like a little bit lower during the day. So yeah, I made a post about that. That one particularly, I even like skipped family lunch, which is like sacred for us on Sundays because it's like this is like our time to like be with the family and all eat together. And I was just like, man, I want to go. I feel like this is important to go like try to get this one. And I did have some work to do as well. So I skipped family lunch just to go and get burnt. And that feels bad, man. It's like when you do a bad thing and then it like turns out even worse. It's like the worst feeling ever. I was just like, I suck. It felt pretty rough, but we bounced back. And there's still just like so many opportunities in the market. So let's just kind of like look at some of these. So Satoshi's not the only one I got. I got a ton of them, but I'm also not here just to show my bags. There's quite a few interesting things going on around runes that I want to look at. First and foremost is the obvious one that Erica wrote about is the fact that Magic Eden trading did go live on runes. It just kind of makes it a lot easier. A lot more liquidity able to come in. And this is just like so layered with everything around this, man. So we're going to take a look at Satoshi. Again, it did drop. It's at $2.80 per token. So the lowest packet would be like $280, which again, like that's still over what most people paid for gas. So like, if you minted, you're still up.
What's transaction fees right now? If you click on one of those,
like $30.
Yeah, Mempool Space has it at 289 for high. So there must be something going on right now. Like that's
well, yeah. So what's going on right now? And probably is this what's it called? The ZZZZZ one. It's minting like crazy. We'll look at that right now. Let's watch about it. So this one. I don't know if this is exactly what's going on right now, but the ZZZ Fahoo, blah, blah, blah. I actually kind of want to talk about this for a bit.
Wait, what do you mean minting? Has it already been minted out?
No, it was 99% pre-mined, and it was 1% to the public.
Great.
But that 1% is still a large supply. So it's 99.8% minted out. But 99%. But you have to remember, if you look at the top of the the runes that were minted first, it was literally the first Rune minted besides Casey's Uncommon Goods. They paid like $600,000 for this. So this is a very interesting one because you're thinking, based on the circulating supply, the market cap's like, I don't know, like 30 million or something like that. But based on the the FDV, like if you included what they pre-mined, it's like a $3 billion market cap. So are you buying into a $3 billion market cap? Or are you buying into like a $30 million market cap? You're more so buying into a 30 mil. But what's going to happen with the 99% they pre-mined? That's like the golden question right now. So you're asking about like the fees. I don't know if this is enough to affect it, but can you see these pendings right here? 77,000 right now pending.
Damn.
77,000. And you know what? Your boy makes up for 3 of those because I'm currently minting as well. I put in like 3 mints before we went live. I don't know if they went through yet because there's just a lot of speculation around this. Like, why do they pay so much? You know, they wouldn't even have liquidity to dump the 99%. You know, so there's like some people are comparing it to like RSIC. Like maybe if you like buy and hold, they'll like give you more allocations or whatever. Some people are saying that they're going to airdrop to partner communities, which to me wouldn't be like the most ideal in the situation. Everybody's saying something different. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, the interesting part on this is if you go to Magic Eden, it's not ideal to buy a lot of these things. And I also think this hurts the floors too, because gas is so high. Like, look at the packet sizes. Like, why would you want to pay 8? Like, okay, so this is only $17, but you have to factor in the gas cost too. So after the network fee and all that, you know, I'm paying $156 to get $18 worth of this token. That's not a deal, right? Like, who wants to do that? So ideally, you know, they'll combine more of these and you'll be able to buy bigger quantities, and even eventually you'll be able just to buy like individual tokens or whatever. But for now, it's just not, I mean, the floor, not on this one, but the floor on a lot of these is actually relatively thin. But people just aren't wanting to pay the fees to like knock out that thin floor. If we didn't have this like in an NFT design where people could see like these like walls or whatever, I think these things could have a lot more like upside, like even in the short term. But I don't know. I also like how I actually didn't know this until right now, but the market cap is clearly shown on these. So right now the Satoshi's at a $58 million market cap. Just like a couple of days ago, it's at $130 million market cap. So it's just easy to kind of compare market caps and kind of like go off of that.
Dude, I love this setup though on Magic Eden in comparison to what I've seen elsewhere. And a weird thing though is that like if you click back and you click on a different rune and then you come back to this one, it'll keep showing you the old transaction, the old network fees. So if you actually click refresh on the browser, that'll actually give you an accurate update. You know, like let's say the next block hits or whatever, like the network fees are changing a bunch. So when I just a second ago hopped on here, literally 2 minutes ago, it was $20 more for the network fee than it is right now. It's wild.
Yeah, that's actually good alpha. So what does this not work as well either? Like the refresh on the Magic Eden site, or?
I'm curious. I wonder if it is, because I just clicked out of it and then clicked back in and it still said 170. And then I just hit the refresh on the browser just for curiosity's sake and checked it out, because when you had said that it was 157, I was like, whoa, that's like $20 less than what I'm seeing. And until I hit refresh on the browser, yeah, it didn't change. So I'll try it again in a minute and see if it.
We got 137 buys pending right now. We got Gutterland, aka Ken, saying chose rich and dumped on those suckers. That's not the most Ken thing I've ever read in my life.
I'm one of those suckers that just kept holding, but it is what it is.
I mean, dude, like 100, if like any of this takes off, like a $57 million.
That's what I'm saying.
Is like, yeah, like
I think the goalpost is always gonna. I mean, I know it sounds far fetched, but I feel like the goalpost is $1 billion market cap, right? So like, if you feel like, you know, it's like the rune number is under 10, like check. A lot of people, good name, Satoshi Nakamoto, like pretty well diverse number of holders. Like, I don't know. I think you should exercise patience. Obviously, you know, if you want to lock in your like whatever you paid in and maybe a little bit of profit, that's actually a very smart play. But then I actually made a tweet about it. I said that's a really smart play, but I'm dumb as fuck. So I decided to just keep it and see what happens. So
I've done that a lot. I mean, like the problem with that is you're also risking, like, if it does, like, why are you even here kind of thing. Like, sure, you can get your initials back, but like the whole reason you put in your initials was for like a gamble, basically, you know? So it's like I've like taken initials off on several tokens that have done like work, and my initials that I took out would have, like, you know, been substantial if I had not taken them out. So there's like always like, you know, different, while that's like a good like rule of thumb, like, yeah, take your initials out, it's also like that's not always the best course of action, you know? Like, why it goes back to like, why are you here? Do you need that money? If you're okay with losing it, then I don't know.
Everyone's threshold is going to be a little bit different, obviously, but for me, I feel like I put a lot of sweat equity in terms of trying to figure out how to do this crap. So like from my perspective, I just want to see something balloon, and if it ends up being Satoshi Nakamoto, then so be it. But if it ends up being something else, great for them too, right? Like, I want.
So are you like all in on Satoshi Nakamoto?
I pretty much put like 50% of my total allocation into Satoshi. So like, I'm just gonna keep shilling that. No, I'm kidding.
Betterland said, not a lot of overall Rune holders. The community will rotate liquidity into
I agree with that too.
Yeah, I saw that. So there's a couple of tokens that like I've really been looking at. Doesn't necessarily mean I own everything that I'm going to mention. So RSIC, obviously, what's RSIC even at right now? It's at a $221 million market cap. I definitely think that has potential. If we're talking about like what has potential to be $1 billion market cap, definitely the two that we mentioned, Satoshi and RSIC. Wanko Manko, man, that's an interesting one, man. We got to talk about it. We gotta, bro. What you guys think? Are you part of the furry community yourselves, or like you are you what's it called? Not a supporter, ally, or
what you think? That mint was interesting. That mint wasn't only like a small window, basically.
Yeah, dude.
And then
yeah, pretty much the cabal got to actually mint it, but some other people obviously bought early. And you weren't able to buy these smaller packets. Like you see like a $200 packet on the floor. Like for the first few days, you had to buy in size. Like you had to buy it like, you know, thousands of dollars at a time, but people split their packets. So you're able to buy a little bit cheaper now. But I mean, yeah, the price was like a penny when for the longest time. And then Casey posted about it like several times. And like Casey's pretty much shilled it by this point. The founder of Runes, of course. And it went, for the first time Casey tweeted about it, it went from 1 cent to like 19 cents. And then he doubled down. So he tweeted to it saying basically it's a good meme. And then he like quote tweeted it. And then it went from like 19 to like 30. And then like he's still like on and on and on. And yeah, it's also like, it's worth mentioning, this is like a lower token supply relatively, only 2,500 holders. So the market cap is actually only 37 million, which, you know, is relatively, relatively low. So it's different. Like it's definitely different.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to like teach all our listeners like how to view market cap, but all of these are so interesting. Just don't look at the price only. Look at it from a perspective of like market cap, how much supply there is, and ultimately like what is that goalpost that you think this coin is gonna go. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all gambling right now. Like, let's be honest with these runes. Like, there's no real utility yet, but hopefully, you know, a couple.
The other thing too is narrative. Like, this is such a crazy one. Like, my boy Butoshi is like, he went out and bought a furry outfit. You know what I mean? Like, this guy, he went all the way because he's just like an eccentric, young, basically Bitcoin rich kid now at this point. So, you know, he's founder. He's out there, you know, doing everything for the culture. But bro, just sitting in spaces and hearing people break down the lore to this thing. Oh, like I literally gave a guy the advice today. He was like, "Hey, I'm like new to the space. I'm like trying to like network and blah blah blah." I was like, "Go study the lore for this rune and tell people what it is." And you will garner yourself some kind of following. Just don't say it around anybody. You know, I was like at my kid's school and I was like, "Can you guys like not tell this story in case my phone accidentally like goes on speaker accidentally? Like, I don't want to go to jail." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude, I covered it. Well, first and foremost, we got Taha in here. What's up, Taha? How's it going today, man?
Hey, guys. How are you? Sound check. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great. You sound great. I like
Oh,
the
he's the
camera
goat,
setup too.
man.
You never
The goat
know.
is here.
Yeah, man. Oh, whoops. Yep. We'll find this eventually. There we go.
There
Now
you
we're
go.
nice and even. I like the camera setup, man. You've got like a little whiteboard behind you.
Yeah. This is where I'm
Love
thinking
that.
about all the cool ways to get runes to go to the moon and to help the Pizza Ninja community and whatnot. So,
Oh,
Bro, we obviously appreciate you so much. Can we talk about that for a bit? Just like how did that whole experience go?
oh man, it was so much fun. I don't think I've had so much fun setting up nodes. Everything I've done previously is just setting up on virtual machines and servers, but being on the ground floor with the whole Ninja community and like helping people understand that you don't need to have like a server farm to set up your own node. I think if you look at the charts that kind of went up with not just Ordinals launched previously and now with the runes launch in the number of nodes that have increased, it's amazing. And to realize all you need is like a Mac or a PC, and you can just simply go through a few simple steps. I've written out a Mac guide for the ninjas in the Pizza Ninja community. Alexa Goddess has written out a Windows guide. We had Post Capone. We had so many volunteers from various communities coming through, and pretty much anybody who hadn't even opened terminal or a command line before went from being like, what is a command, to being able to run a node, to be able to mint on having block and right after having block. I think it was just amazing. It was amazing to see so many people come and get involved in the community, and I think that's just bullish for Bitcoin. I mean, it's amazing.
I love it, man. I obviously like definitely respect and appreciate you guys so much. We were talking about this before the show, but regarding ninjas, I think it's really cool too that like runes now, like everybody's got their nodes running, they got their org client, they're like ready to go. We have some activations coming up, but like honestly, like our floor price hasn't changed much. So that was a really good sign in my opinion, because it wasn't like people just bought in to get the edge, to like get you and a bunch of other people that are just like there, like helping out with every step of the way, but they're still here. Like and obviously I'm not here to talk about floor price all day long, but it was encouraging. It's like people obviously bought, they're happy with the experience that they got. They're happy with the current experience, future experiences that they're expecting, and they're still chilling. So such a cool thing,
Totally.
man. Were
I
you
think
you're part of that like 48-hour long voice chat too, weren't you? Like, I mean, it was longer than that, but I'm talking about specifically in the launch.
Well, even coming up to that, I had a couple of 24-hour sessions. Like people just didn't want to stop, which kind of goes to show I was going to hit on that. I know like we're not here to talk about price speculation or floor price, but it's a representation of the value people are getting, right? So what's really cool is that it's not just that you learn how to run a node. A lot of the information on what's happening in the runes ecosystem, or what even a rune is, how is that different from BRC20, how is it different from ordinals, even within the Bitcoin ecosystem, is not readily available. Like I'm on spaces every other day, and you get on these spaces and people are like, what is a rune? Tell me how it's different than BRC20. And to get that information from the people that are contributing and building, to be part of that community, to be connected with the OGs in the space, with Trevor, with you've got a direct connect with Post Capone. You've got your one line of separation away from Udi and from Greg himself, from Casey. Like you cannot get this access anywhere. And as a Pizza Ninja, I mean, that's been one of the most amazing things. And I think that's what people continue to see, that sure, we've taught you how to run nodes now, but what's next? The value continues to improve. And I think it's just going to be really, really exciting. And then the collaboration that comes along with other companies who are building in the space. So I think it's only going to get better. And we're at the beginning of the ecosystem. So I can't wait for all the things that are going to come into the BTC Fi ecosystem now. Like we're not DeFi anymore. We're BTC Fi guys. Like this is happening.
Funny. I haven't heard it like that. I have a question for you, Taha. So you're obviously come from the technical perspective. I see this question a lot. I can regurgitate what I've heard, but I want to hear it from somebody that's like way smarter than me. What can runes do as far as like they can be more than just meme coins? Like what kind of like integrations do you expect to see on the non-meme side of things?
Yeah, that's a phenomenal question. I think it goes to understand that it's important to understand the difference between runes and BRC20 and how we ended up here, right? And we're going to be doing some segments along with Trevor and the Pizza Ninja community that kind of tell the story of Bitcoin, because I think runes are bringing Bitcoin to light and to help people understand like how Bitcoin ended up here. When Bitcoin started off, it wasn't really thought of to be anything that's going to be Turing complete. It had one purpose, and it had done it very well, which is to facilitate transparent, decentralized, trustless transfer of payments, right? And it does it phenomenally well. It's the resistance to change for that specific one core purpose has what's made it so popular and has what's made it have the Bitcoin dominance against the entire market that it has. Like Bitcoin's dominance is 50%. What that means is Bitcoin's market cap at $1.3 trillion is 50% larger than all of the combined 50% of the market, right? So just one chain has such a dominance. So that's what Bitcoin's been doing. With Ordinals, when Casey launched the Ordinals protocol, what that allowed us to do is put, in an organized way, digital artifacts on Bitcoin, right? So in other words, NFTs. So you could inscribe a picture. Even before this, in your transaction outputs, and you could pass on a message, and you could just share simple messages, but it was chaotic, it was unstructured. So Ordinals brought the Ordinal theory. It serialized SAT numbers. So every single Satoshi had some meaning now. From the beginning to the end, every single Satoshi had a serial number associated. So you had a concept of rare sats. For example, now the earlier Satoshis that might have been owned by Satoshi Nakamoto himself have some value. The Satoshis that, for example, the Pizza Ninja sats that were used for the first real world transaction, the 10,000 Bitcoin that was paid for 2 large pizzas from Papa John's on May 22nd, 2010 have some value. So rare sats came about because through Ordinal theory, we could track these sats with a serialized number. On top of it, you could inscribe data now to these serialized sats. Hence, you could inscribe like Pizza Ninjas onto these sats. So this was the story as to how we came to the Ordinals aspect. Well, now you got BRC20 with Domo introducing a concept of attempting to bring fungible tokens into the Bitcoin protocol at that time. At that time, all we had available was Ordinals protocol and Ordinals theory. So BRC20 was a fungible token attempt built on top of Ordinals. And Ordinal protocol was designed not with fungibility in mind, it was designed with digital artifacts in mind. So you had a bit of a conflict. And that conflict was that we have a desire to bring fungibility to Bitcoin in the sense of fungible tokens, but we had to build it on top of an NFT protocol, basically. So BRC20 tokens acted like an NFT. So when you wanted to transfer it, you essentially think of it like you almost had to update your NFT to say like, here's the new owner. So you have to first inscribe this, like, I'm simplifying the analogy. It's not trying to get into too much technical items so people can understand the story. So you basically had to have your BRC token NFT that you would have to update. You have to inscribe some update on it as to who's the new owner. Then you have to transfer that NFT, in essence, the sats that were inscribed, to the new owner. So this is not how transfers work in the typical fungible ecosystem, right? When you want to send a Bitcoin to somebody, you don't have to inscribe on those sats and send it over. You just send it. Runes came as a next upgrade, as the upgrade now, which is what I see as now fungibility truly coming to Bitcoin in terms of the DeFi ecosystem. Runes allow you to not have to deal with being built on top of the Ordinals protocol in the sense that it's a fungible token built on top of an NFT protocol. It has true fungibility, meaning if you want to transfer one rune, if I want to send one to you, Chris, if I want to send one to anyone else, I can just simply transfer it with different mechanisms. So this is the transition that we've seen happen. And of course, if you go to Luminex and you see the top tokens, they're all meme coins. But what this is allowing to do, even companies like myself with Ferrum Network, Multiswap, we're already starting to build out DeFi staking, yield farming, lending and borrowing, swapping protocols. All of this was somewhat possible with BRC20, and a shout out for BRC20 for showing that there's demand for it. But with Runes, it's just so much easier. There's L2s being built. There's going to be a whole ecosystem that's going to get built out, and we can get into that. But hopefully the story helped kind of get some context to how we ended up here, and happy to dive into any other items. Back over to you, Chris.
Awesome answer. I love that. I guess specifically the hardest question that a lot of us have to deal with is like you said, you can transfer individual runes, but are we going to be able to like buy them in a better way that's not like the packets in the future? Like, is that like going to ever be possible? Or are we kind of stuck with this like almost like an NFT style, like buying and selling as far as liquidity comes in and comes out?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. So if you are one of the folks that is buying runes in a bad style, you should know that you are early in the space. You can either be early and deal with the nuance and take advantage of all the benefits that come as being an early adopter, or you can be late in the space and buy them like you do on Uniswap right now, right? Any other token. And then you're probably like a little bit later to the space. So right now, the reason you buy them in batches is because all of the infrastructure was built around how BRC20s are handled, right? So you mint them in batches of, like, for example, Satoshi Nakamoto token. It's minted in batches of hundreds. It is deposited in your account in batches of hundreds, inscribed on a specific UTX. So it's just simpler for people to quickly develop out batch cells, right? You can still transfer them. So there's a few ways to transfer these right now. If anybody's looking for that, I'll just explain it in 30 seconds. So a quick way, without having a node, without having your own terminal and Ord client, literally just go over to Luminex. Now, it does say Luminex does say it's in beta, so you might want to try it out with like a smaller amount of runes and not like your most important runes. All of these things are in beta, so you need to be accept the concept that you're early stage and there's risk in things going wrong, right? So Luminex allows you in the transfer tab to break up, let's say this batch of 100 into smaller batches. So you can actually split up batch of 100 into 20 different splits and split it up into like batches of 20 at a time, for example, or 5 at a time, right? And with the Luminex UI, then you can sell them 5 at a time. Now, that is now how the experience is going to be forever, because from the Ord client itself, from the software itself, I can send you one Satoshi Nakamoto. So from a software and a technical standpoint, we have the ability to split them down to the decimal level, even, which is not being realized right now. So when the rune says it has divisibility of 8, it's describing they can have essentially 8 decimal division down even further more so. And when their value goes up, then if Satoshi Nakamoto 1 token ends up being worth a couple of $1,000s, if that's where it ends up being, you might not want to be transferring one at a time. You might want to transfer a quarter of it, so on and so forth. So if it has divisibility available, you're even going to be able to do that. The software and the architecture allows it. The infrastructure, the UX, the DApps, they have to catch up to it, but that's what's exciting for us builders. We're excited to build those solutions now because Runes allows that, right? So hopefully that answers the question, Chris.
I've answered the question. I'm feeling bullish, man. I'm no longer thinking about packaging my Satoshis. I'm thinking about splitting my Satoshis.
Exactly. But not to geek out, I'm kind of curious. Why couldn't BRC20 do that? Like that split?
Yeah, so if you want to get into that, that goes back to how BRC20 architecture was, right? Again, okay. It's really easy to kind of look at the new cool thing and then like almost like put down the old thing. It's BRC20 is the reason why runes are here. If BRC20 did not establish that there was demand for fungibility, the $2.7 trillion market cap of all the tokens, and I think it was like 145 billion in transacted trade volume that had occurred at some point when I checked the stats. If that wasn't established, runes might not be here. So shout out to Domo and BRC20 for like establishing all that experimental standard. So BRC20, it can technically do that, but it's just so much more complicated. You have to inscribe the badge. You have to then try, like for me to send it over to you from like at the core level, I literally have to hit one command, and I can, if I have a batch of 100, it's one command for me to send you one. With BRC20, it's significantly more complicated commands, and this is not to say BRC20 architecture is flawed. It was working within the limitations that were available at that time. Now it's just that much better. It's an evolution, right? And maybe if you want to get into it, I could talk about how this evolution relates to even in the EVM6 ecosystem. There was an ETH token at first, and then we got the WETH token after. And there's a very good analogy as to how that aligns together with what's happened in the BTC ecosystem with BRC20 coming out and now Runes coming out. If we want to get into that, I can as well, because there's a lot of alignment there.
You know, I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to just say you should save this for the Discord talk discussion so we could convince people to buy ninjas and then drop the alpha on us. But because, dude, you just dropped like a huge knowledge bomb. Like, this is insane. I'm learning a lot just based on like what, like 10 minutes.
I see Koma like buying some runes right now.
I know.
Like, he's getting like more and more bullish.
But no, I do gotta say though, man, like Taha, like I saw you on the Discord helping, you know, like so many people out, and dude, you have so much patience because I'm also a developer, and I just remember this one part where you're helping someone, and then you're saying like, so click on the terminal, and they're like, what? And then you're like, click on the terminal on your left, on your left, on your left, on your left, and you kept saying it almost like 6 times, but there was no like increase of like volume or frustration. You're just like so nice about it, and you're just like, okay, now that you're on your terminal, do this, do this, do this. And like I was just laughing inside because if it was me, I would have been like, to your left, it's just to your left. But yeah, dude, awesome job, man. Like I watched like I saved one of your videos because I couldn't actually follow along at the time because I was building some furniture, but I saw that video and helped me set up my whole nodes, helped me set up my like Ord index, UTXOs, like really great teacher. So kudos to you and like all the other teachers that were there. Like it was really, really impressive, top notch.
No, appreciate that, man. I think that the patience is just coming from realizing that people, it's overwhelming for them.
Yeah.
One of the downsides of Discord is that you can't annotate. I'm used to speaking a lot on Zoom, so I can actually point and annotate to where to go. And when you're somebody who has never seen terminal and you have 4 terminal windows open all of a sudden, So it's like the reason it's nice to have that perspective in mind of the person you are trying to teach is to think about like, okay, for them, it's like, yeah, go a little bit more, go a little bit more. You can do it. Just that encouragement helps a lot.
100%.
But the true shout out here goes to Trevor and the Pizza Ninja communities, because I've been in the space for a minute, right? And I've all the way from the EVM ecosystem I've been building over there, and the BTC-Fi ecosystem starting to come back to build because of all the utility that now we can bring to the BTC-Fi ecosystem. I have yet to see a camp put together as well thought out, with the amount of contributors and volunteers that came through with Post, with Alexa, with all the folks that came from the Chinese community as well. Like it was just like absolutely incredible. And shout out to Trevor and to all the Pizza Ninjas for actually committing their time to learn all this stuff. I mean, it's remarkable. And they're way ahead of, I would say, I don't know, maybe 90% of the ecosystem. They know more about UTXO splits. They know more about how to run a node. They know more about Sparrow, which is an amazing tool to be able to have minute control over UTXO. So I think it just did a community a huge service, and I want to thank Trevor for organizing something like that.
Awesome. Sure. Yeah, man, it was so cool to see like so many people participate. I mean, we had like, and then especially like on launch, man, well, I would even say like hundreds of people, if not in the voice chat, like in the regular chat for like 2 days straight. I mean, the whole camp was like weeks straight of people like constantly at these different help desks and doing sessions and stuff. It's also crazy. Like we're dropping names, but like Chris, I don't know if you know, but like all those people were like on our pizza tour. Like Domo was there. Post Capone was there. Like so many people are being mentioned. Como was kind of there. He showed up like after we were like finished.
Domo was on the tour?
Yeah, Domo was on the tour. He's on there the second day. He was with his significant other. He's the one that convinced me to get. He was the one that convinced me to get an espresso shot at our first pizza stop, which in my opinion was the best pizza out of all the other stops.
You definitely needed an espresso shot because when I saw you, Chris, you were tired.
Oh man, I mean, I was tired, but I was also like, we had a couple of wines at like each stop, and yet when you just drink so much wine and eat so much pizza, it's kind of hard to like function after that. But these degens were like, oh yeah, we're good now, it's time to party. I'm like, party, bro? We've been drinking wine and eating pizza all day. I'm ready to crash. And they're like, no, we're just getting started.
No, to your point though, it is cool to see how everybody showed up virtually to learn and do all that stuff and actually kind of be, at the front of the pack, I'd say. And that's all thanks to Trevor for organizing and bringing people like Taha and Post Capone, all these guys in. That was cool because that was built right on top of the previous brick, which was let's get together, break bread, have pizza, hang out, go have fun together and do all this stuff. So it was like you got to see people in multiple different lights. And like I haven't seen anything like that from any community. So it was really, really cool to be part of all three of those things, both days of the tour and this. And shout out to Coma because he took Taha's awesome, helping people out. And the dude just passed it right along to me. So instead of him having to be patient, he was like, here, let me just do it. And just.
I love it, man.
Just give me your computer. I'll just do it for you. No, I'm kidding. I did teach you. I did teach you how to hit those commands. And I installed iTerm for you, So
I have ninjas asking me about like location because like they want to do like ninja meetups. And it's like there's only like 1,500 total ninjas and like 1,200 holders. So like for there being like so few, it's kind of cool to see everybody trying to come together, which is a great time to remind people what we talked about at the beginning of this episode, that we are co-hosting a conference in Lisbon. It's going to be Ordinals Lisbon. Last year, the conference had 4,500 attendees just on the Ethereum side alone, 200 plus speakers. This year, we're going to paint it orange. We're going to recruit speakers. We're going to recruit guests. We're going to show up. And it's going to be good. And the venue is absolutely amazing. If you want to look at it, go check out the beginning of the video. I might even give a preview at the end of the video. We're co-hosting that conference, so we're going to have a big part in that. But also, Ordinals Asia is coming up, I think, in like 2 weeks, May 8th. And of course, we're going to have a showing there at Ordinals Asia as well. So that's another one to be on the lookout for. So tons more of activations. Oh, guys, another pivot is we've been talking about this anyway, so I feel like now's a good time. So now that we've like made a community of like borderline developers, we're talking about we're talking about next steps here. I'm just going to ask you guys like in real time, what you would prefer. So let me go ahead and share my screen. It was from Trevor's post today, asking Twitter, but we all know the ninjas are ready for this. So here we go. I think it's right here. Yep. So what are you more interested in? To run mempool bots that can snipe and trade mints, or make an on-chain experimental social games with Bitcoin ordinals, like how to use recursive endpoints?
Don't we already know the answer to this?
I don't know. What's your answer?
Well, I was just going to say, because, I mean, I hate to put it this way, too. First off, I think, isn't the thing that we heard about on the pizza tour at the end kind of like part of number 2 there?
Whoa, spoil! You're trying to give IRL spoilers out here?
I'm not. If you know, you know.
Oh, yeah, you know. Yeah.
Also, if you give somebody the option, do you want to make money or do you want to have fun? Like, generally, I always say make money. So,
all right. So Chris's is make money. Como, what's yours?
I don't know. The mempool bot kind of sounds interesting. I'm actually curious. I mean, I use mempool.space, but to be honest, I don't know how it fully works, like all those little boxes and all those things. So it would be kind of interesting to me personally, but that's me just geeking out.
All right, Taha, you
Deal breaker.
greedy too, or are you gonna make games?
Yeah, I feel like I'm biased because I'm probably going to do both. But I think if you go from a trajectory standpoint, one makes sense to come before two. Two is where you're going to run into a lot of nuances that probably developers need to work out first. So one is probably going to be my bet to start off with, go with sniping first, and then move on to number 2.
Always
All
coming
right,
from the perspective of a teacher.
Yeah, a developer as well. So let's see if you guys had the majority vote. Oh, that was pretty close. That was closer than I thought it would be. 59% voted for mempool bots, and then 40% voted for on-chain ordinal games.
Not bad.
So I don't know. Both of these kind of seem out of reach for somebody like myself. So it's going to be quite the experience if I'm running these mempool bots and or making on-chain experimental social games in the upcoming months. But we'll see.
I think what my hope is with initiatives that we're doing in the Ninja community, and I think what you talked about with the meetups as well, is sort of create these ambassadors that even let's say the folks that are in the Ninja community are not going to be going out developing full-fledged production-ready solutions. If they can have enough of an idea how to formulate a team around them, how to get some Bitcoin developers, ecosystem developers to form up around them, and now they know enough of how to snipe bots based on what we've taught in the ecosystem, and then they go build a UX UI that can allow anybody without setting up their node to do the same. Like, that's really the message here. Like, is because if we want a truly thriving ecosystem, it can't just be the folks within the ecosystem, within the Ninja community, putting out these commands through a command line interface. Hopefully we teach this, and then that inspires people to go build it, because we can't build all this ourselves. There's too much to build, which is exciting. So hopefully we teach it, and somebody starts a cool little company, cool little DeFi company on top of the Rune's ecosystem, and it teaches people like, okay, like you can just connect your wallet, fund it with some Bitcoin, with some sats, and you can go ahead and snipe using XYZ feature, right? So that it addresses all different spectrums of our audience, the ones that want to run a full node and be able to snipe using that, but also the ones that just want to go to a simple URL, snipe mempool.com or whatever, and then just like snipe right from there if it makes sense to them.
No, that definitely makes sense. We got a few things. I don't know what this means. It says Bitcoin with hat paired. I've never seen that word before. Like the little green paired, but what's up, Bitcoin with hat? Adeka said making on-chain games. Somebody said, is Anarcho Cat Bus, is it Casey's deploy? No, it's not Casey's deploy.
You want to tell them your story?
Yeah, dude, that's a fun story, man.
Oh my God, I was right there with you, Chris. You should tell them what happened to us.
Oh, bro.
When we saw that tweet.
It's a sore subject. So Anarcho Cat Bus was minting, and it was like probably my first mint. I don't know. I was just clicking so many things. It might not have been my very first, but it's the first one I remember. And it went through because somebody was like, yo, Casey has this in his bio. He just sent out a tweet about it. This is it. Like, this is the one. This is Casey's drop. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm going to load up. So I did. And after literally right after I sent my transactions through, somebody else was in chat was like, yo, that's an old tweet and that's definitely not Casey behind it. I was like, no. So I was like terrified because I just spent a couple hundred, maybe even more than that, on a transaction cost. I'm so used to Ethereum. I know like Bitcoiners are probably like, is he still saying gas? I'm just going to say that, like, just know that gas equals transaction for me in my head, years on ETH. But, you know, I spent all the money on that. And so as soon as I got that thing, I like sold for like break even basically, just to get my money that I spent on transaction fees back. And then like immediately after, like within 30 minutes, the thing like 5x's, and then I wake up to like a 10x or something ridiculous like that. It was like a winner of the next day. One of the winners of one of like the top 5. I was like, are you kidding me? I would have made a couple grand on that. But oh well, it is what it is. And it's over now. While we're talking about runes, we do have like only a couple minutes left. I've asked you a lot of technical questions, Taha, and you've done an amazing job at answering. Now I want to ask you a little bit more degenerative question. Out of all these runes that you see popping up, which ones are what's catching your eye right now out of all these runes?
Yeah, that as it always goes, none of this is financial advice. We're just having fun. So don't go around saying we shared this and then you got wrecked. You're probably going to get wrecked. All of this is just meme coinery right now. There is utility coming, in my opinion. But right now, I really liked meme pool space. I think it was really funny because it was like kind of obvious that this is not mempool, but the play on words was really funny. I think the Wolf of Wall Street sort of Leo over there, like shilling the blue chip stock, like the only regret you can have is not buying more. So I think the true meme feel I got from meme pool space was really nice. I kind of aped into that, and maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. So far it hasn't, but who knows? We're very early. People really don't know about how to exactly buy these. I've got Satoshi Nakamoto. I've got so many of them, dude. Like that, the point of setting up a node was just like you can just mint away. And I went into Narco Capbus the same way. I think I spent a couple $100 minting the heck out of it. I did wait a little because like once I realized that it wasn't Casey's, I same thing. I was busy in other things. So I overlooked that it was an old tweet. But I know people were just going to get behind it, and they did. And so I did liquidate some to recover my costs and took some profits on there. But yeah, there's quite a few. I think the good ones, Satoshi Nakamoto, I think is probably going to do quite well over time.
Well, real quick, sorry, I was muted. I didn't realize. Was the Anarcho Cat Bus? How many tokens did you mint? Is it 20? Like not you, but like what was the batch sizes of tokens? Do you remember? Or was it 2,100?
Oh man, I think it was 2,100 batch sizes, and I probably did like 10 of them or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean that floor price is still $651. So yeah, that just shows you what I missed out on. Minted a few of them and sold it for like 0.00 something to break even. So yeah, good times. So
with all of these, I think it's a good practice to try to figure out how you can recover your transaction costs, and then maybe hold on to the rest because it hasn't really hit mainstream yet. So take some profit, but like it's early days. It's like you're minting stuff when people just don't know how to mint or don't have access to it, or they mint out on Luminex and then their transaction is stuck for hours. So if you've got a hold of something, you're probably in a good shape, and you're going to do well in most of this early stuff. Again, not financial advice because it can all go to zero. It's very speculative.
Yeah, of course.
If it makes you feel better, I spent 800 and 900 sats on something, and I just got priced out like very early on. So that was a rough one. Yeah.
Oh,
I forgot which one it was though. Now that I just remember it just like it minted out so fast. I can't remember.
Meme economics was like that. I got burned on meme economics.
Yeah, it was meme economics. Yeah.
So I'm looking on Luminex and Magic Eden right now, and this is just full bozo question for people that don't understand all this. I'm looking at Wanko Manko, right? And it says that it's 7.5% minted out, right? And so it says 75 million minted, and then you look on Magic Eden. So that was on Luminex, and then you look on Magic Eden, and it says supplies 75 million. What's the deal with the other like remaining non-minted stuff out if you're looking at it?
I'm pretty sure it had an end block for minting, didn't it? Wasn't that Manko? So the rest of the supply just doesn't get minted out. Like whatever minted out between those blocks is this. Like they might have allowed. Let's take a simple example. So a token might allow a supply of 100 billion, but they might restrict the mint time from like block X to block Y.
Got it.
So between those blocks, if only 20 billion mints out, the rest of the 80 billion is no longer a supply. Think of it, if you're coming from the EVM ecosystem, think of it as like burnt supply. That's never going to be minted out anymore. So that now whatever is a supply is a supply. I believe that is the case with Manco.
Yep.
And so you change your economics and you change your market cap calculation based on the current supply now for things like that have minted out.
Very cool. That was like, where the hell else would I have learned that? That's crazy.
Yeah, honestly,
cool.
that's some alpha right there. Corey.sats said that if you're not into koala on Impala, you're missing out.
Man, it is like early days
that one.
NFT shows. Like I see people showing like these runes like communities right now.
Huddle Diamond Dick, let's go.
Like 2022 early days, man.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's just such a new class with these. I welcome chilling because if I learned anything from last cycle, it's that one random shill that like I didn't pay attention to that like 100x'd. So I'm gonna pay more attention. Yeah, this Koala Impala, I tried to mint this and got my transaction and failed. So that was fun. It looks like you can still buy it for fairly cheap though.
I guess just an advice for people that are minting right now is if you go to mempool.space and you look at the fee range, it is a good idea. If you are deciding to go into something and you see a high fee range, just go with the higher fee. Like you see 268 over here, I would not send a fee anything less than 275 to 80 on that if I am deciding to mint. The reason is the cost of not getting it is 100% loss. And what can happen if it gets traction is other people are going to put in like 300, 400 sats per VByte as a fee. And then you're going to get into previous blocks and it gets minted out. So you just spent like whatever is going to come out to be 80, 90, $100 and it's wasted. So if you're deciding to go in with a higher fee. You don't have to be drastically higher, but at least be higher priority on higher and it will increase. With that, I've only missed out with all the mints I've done. I've only missed out 2 mints with using that strategy. So that also helps you not have so much losses. And then Chris, one more thing I do want to share with people as more utility coins start to come out, I've already started to see people claiming that they can make a DEX on top of runes and people claiming they can build lending and borrowing platforms. So when you start to look at more serious platforms, there's going to be a huge amount of vaporware coming out. So increase your due diligence a bit more for those projects, right? Like ask them for their GitHub, ask them for their white paper, their documentation, ask them to prove what they're saying is possible. Because a lot of this in this new ecosystem is simply not possible yet without the involvement of L2s. Meme coins are just speculative, but if somebody's claiming they're going to build actual infrastructure, you need to vet them out a little bit more before you start sending BTC to their address. I've already seen a few projects like claim 9, 10 BTC in deposits from people just on the speculation. So I would encourage people over there, your due diligence mark definitely needs to be a little bit higher.
That's also good alpha. We got the chat bumping right now. We got Gutterland took a L on meme economics. Got some Manco up in here. Got Corey sharing a link. I can't click it through here. I'm assuming it's some alpha though on the Koala Impala. Corey.sats is also the one that I believe etched it. People trying to say they were arbing. It's so many things going on in chat right now.
Chris,
yeah.
You forgot about the most important one. Bullish Bitcoin pizza ninjas. Come on, do we have to talk about it at least once, right?
Just pre-mine though.
Bullish Bitcoin pizza ninjas. Yeah, we got that. Let me pull that up on.
It's
Luminex.
pre-mine, but we don't know what's in store for our ninja community, right?
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, if you're not in the ninja community, you're probably gonna miss out. I would imagine it has definitely something to do with ninja community. Would be my speculation.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it is our actual etch, so it's not like a fake one. We got number 14. Some alpha on this.
Let's go.
Yeah, dude. Trevor was just going for top 100, and we got 14, so that was cool. And yeah, we'll see what happens with it. I can't really drop anything on it, but yeah, we're here. We made it.
We tried, boys. We tried.
It's really funny too, because the one that was like right next to us was also a pizza ticker. It was pizza delivery. And so
that's hilarious.
There's like pizza ninjas and pizza delivery right next to each other. And yeah, that was pretty funny. I don't even know where it's at. Yeah, pizza delivery. It's number 15 and we were number 14. So that's pretty legendary that we got like 2 pizzas back to back. Yeah, I don't know, there's so much opportunity. It's almost like stressful with like looking at the market right now because like Satoshi feels like a safe one. Arsic also feels like a safe one, a relative. So when I say safe, like relative to like what we're talking about. There's some other ones I like. I think the Waco Mako is like super like niche, and I think that's a very unique meme. I do like Koala and Paula. That's what Corey brought up earlier. The ticker is Elsa, so that's like Hal Finney's dog. His name is Elsa, and Hal Finney, for those that don't know, is some people believe him to be Satoshi. And even if he's not, even without that aspect, he was an early developer on Bitcoin, highly involved. Rest in peace. Died of ALS.
That's one of my favorites, by the way. I have that one too. So
really,
I'm bullish on it. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I mean, only a $2 million market cap. Huh?
Yep.
I mean, that's
there's some hidden gems right there. With the ticker is Elsa, and I think it was one of the first ones to release their website too. Again, their website isn't like the most amazing thing since sliced bread, but it's like sort of bringing the meme vibes over to Bitcoin, which like they're like, okay, we're starting to get the ecosystem. So I minted a bunch of that as well.
Man. I'm gonna be looking at this tonight. If a couple of these that I just named, if we get some good fees, but yeah, there's so many opportunity out here, and it's scary because things could not hodl diamond dick. I think Coma brought that up earlier. I think like hodl would be like a really funny, just like if like on a condensed ticker, just like on like you're going through gate.io and you just see hodl, like I think it's a pretty good ticker. Nobody has to know how like edgy and degenerate it is. And only a $602,000 market cap, so like significantly lower than anything we've looked at so far tonight. But anyways, lots of opportunities, but also lots of opportunities for things to go straight to zero because like these are so new. People could just decide that they don't want them, and then they go bye. So oh man, yeah, it's stressful, but it's also exciting. And I'm looking forward to the upcoming months. And I think overall, like a lot of what Taha said tonight was like really just like catching us up on like the actual like tech behind it, the history, the origin. And I think understanding all of that kind of gives us a better indication of like whether this could be adopted or not. I'm feeling more bullish after tonight. How about you guys, Chris, Coma?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out like where the entry point is to goof around at this point. And then, I mean, I hate to say it, but for most of this, for me, it's kind of just about the content. So I'm able to get that. I was able to walk underneath a giant pink dinosaur in the desert and hand off a Bitcoin node from my curly haired homie. And that made a good video. So yeah, I'm just going to keep doing that.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, I've also, we're out here right now. You guys can't see it, but we're all live on YouTube and Twitter. And although this is like a concurrent numbers, 2,700 people tuned in to
awesome.
us for just chilling, man. I've been putting out YouTube content on Runes. Chris has been putting out content. Coma, bro, I thought when you starting, I know you're going to start a YouTube channel for crypto because Coma does tech related content. But you kind of mentioned doing some crypto specifically. So when Ninja content?
We'll see. I don't know, man. It's tough. I mean, Taha probably knows as a developer, sometimes you get distracted. You're like, you want to start writing code, then you want to make content. I'm just like, I get spread out really pretty thinly, but we'll see. I want to make a YouTube channel, but I might have to ask Christy for some advice because he's the professional. So
I got him.
He is. For those that don't know, Christy has a 100K subscriber YouTube channel. Where's your plaque?
Very nice.
Flex that thing. Do you have one of those plaques? Did they send you one?
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, okay. You just got so much collectibles back there.
Yeah, all it's the cliche glowing shelves, but hey, I love it. I love it.
When you first got it, were you like right in front of the camera every time? Like you just had to like let people know? Like,
it was actually cool. It was one of those things where like I wasn't like a sports guy at all. But that was like a trophy that actually matters. That like it's like literally physical respect. Like anybody sees that thing, and for whatever reason, I didn't think they would. They're just like, oh, that's so cool, blah blah blah. It's like if you showed them a trophy of like I won my CIF championship and blah, they'd be like, cool. but for some reason the YouTube plaque, they're just like, oh my god, that's so
that literally,
that's cool.
the plaque says that what you say matters to people, matters to
Yeah,
100,000 people enough that they want to listen to you again. So I think it matters a lot.
social
So
proof.
congrats on that, dude.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
you gonna tokenize that thing?
Right now, you can buy it.
WA,
I'm gonna put my address below. Pre-sale.
Yeah,
Chris-
dude, so if
Chris,
I
coming on
buy
Rune right
that, I
now.
get the subs, right? Like if you ship that to me and it comes with the subs attached to it.
Yeah.
But no, speaking of channels, Chris Coffee, your channel is blowing up too, and hopefully, we could just ride on your coattails with this, this show.
Let's do it.
And then we'll grow to 1 million too.
Getting the same algos.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, chat is
I love your
bumping
content,
tonight
Chris,
too.
for
My
sure.
gosh, you guys are crushing it. Thank you all. I've been trying to shout everybody out, but of course, like Corey, Kinfolk, Adakis, 8 Mother came into our I don't know if you remember Chris, but he was on our pizza tour as well.
Oh, I got a picture with him right at the end.
Doesn't look like an 8 Mother at all.
Yeah,
It
not at all.
does not strike me as an 8 Mother, but
The most handsome mother I've ever met.
most handsome 8 Mother I've ever met for sure.
That is a definition of ape mother, guys. I don't know why you're saying that doesn't look like an ape mother. Like that's that's what an ape mother would be in my mind.
That's awesome.
Todd, were you saying something? Sorry, I was getting
Yeah,
too
no, I
much
was
in
just
chat.
gonna say, dude, really bullish on your content. I get like my sort of, instead of just going through my feed, which I do, like I just need to look at the updates you post, and I'm like, yep, caught up, cool, awesome. So I highly recommend looking at Chris's content. And then also, I don't know, Chris, what you're doing tomorrow at 19 UTC, but we're doing a space with Trevor, myself, Ferrum Navarek, and we're going to be talking about all the things that you guys hit on today, what is coming on Runes. And so we're going to talk about sort of like Runes being tradable across the
Awesome.
EVM ecosystem as well, Runes trading experience improving within the Bitcoin ecosystem, and so many more things with what's even happening with the Ninja Camp and kind of overview of Runes Camp. So we're going to be talking about those things. You should join us if you're available.
Is
But
this on the Ordinals
definitely
show or
your
is this
content has
separate?
been.
Appreciate it, man.
This is
Thank
going
you.
to be a space on X, I believe, and I think it's being hosted by Ferrum itself. That's the company that I'm a CTO at, and then
Okay, great.
Trevor is going to be co-hosting that.
Cool. Looking forward to it. You said at 19 UTC? What time?
Yeah, so I'll shoot you over the link. It's at 19 UTC tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. With all that being said, 2,900 people tuned in. That's wild. Coma, Chris, weekly. We're always here, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Come hang out with us. Hop and chat like you did tonight. Chat was bumping. Talk about runes, ordinals, Bitcoin, pizza, parties, content, everything. Come chill with us. And we have special guests all the time, like Taha, being able just to like blow our minds with information, make us more bullish. Taha, you are so appreciated, not just for tonight, but grinding it out in Discord, helping so many people get involved, and really just for the greater good. We deeply appreciate you. Hope the space goes well tomorrow, and you are always welcome back to join us and kick it on Tuesdays. Like I said, it's weekly, so feel free to always come if you're free around this time. Any final words, gentlemen?
Looking forward to next
Go
week.
Runes. Yeah.
Yeah, go Runes, man.
Go
Bye,
runes, go runes. Yeah, dude. We'll see in the upcoming weeks, because like we're all like on camera and stuff, so it's like yeah, I can just see the screenshots now. These bozos told me Satoshi Nakamoto was going to the moon. It's or maybe we're geniuses. I don't know. Nobody has a crystal ball. We're either going to be geniuses or bozos or somewhere in between. We're all just trying to
have
make
like
it.
30 seconds of content of Taha saying that he likes Satoshi Nakamoto. He likes Wango. He's
Oh,
like,
no.
who is this guy?
Elsa. I got to get you to say a couple more things. I might have to AI you saying, my bags.
This is a bad idea.
Feel my-
I actually made a video describing like what Runes is. I was trying to explain all the tokens, and I was like, you're gonna lose all your money. Like, do not come back and be like, everything's crap. But the reality is that's what speculation is, right? Like some of these are really gonna take off, and some of these, quite a few of these, are gonna be a total wreck. But coming into streams like this, connecting with the folks, because like what Chris and Coma are doing, and then myself and a few others, we're deep in this space, looking at the fundamentals of what's being built out. Meme coins don't really have fundamentals, but at least understanding what's happening in the market. This is where you get alpha, and you can increase your chances of the wins and maybe reduce your chances of the losses. If you come in thinking everything's going to be a win, you're just going to have a sad, sad day every single day. Just acknowledge there's going to be a lot of losses, and the few wins, hopefully, make up for all the losses and a lot more. That's the strategy that I kind of have.
Dude, that's literally like high risk, high reward. Like in this market, you can lose 9 out of 10, but that one is going to make up or should make up for those other 9 by a lot.
100%.
Welcome to extremely risky assets. Oh man, and we're just gonna vibe and have fun in the meantime. Thanks so much for everybody that tuned in. Thank you guys for joining.